Hello everyone, Xeno What If here. To bring in part 11 of What If the Reds and Blues were part of Overwatch. Link down in the description of the fanfiction of this, What If. Listen here YouTube. I do not own anything and this isn't a scam. Chapter 23, The True Alpha. Valhalla Outpost. After Church made it back, he made a shocking discovery. Soldier and Anna Amari went back to being vigilantes around the globe. Torbjorn went back to Gothenburg to work on his machines and defenses. Zenyatta to his monastery, Symmetra back to her home to Vishkar. Ash and Bob along with Junkrat and Roadhog were released and returned home to Australia. The only people who stayed were Winston, Tracer, May, Mercy, Genji, Farah, Cassidy, Lucio, Echo, Reinhardt, Zarya, Bridget and Baptiste. The Reds and Doc already made their place at home, and brought out some of their old stuff so they could set up base. Church would have a long explanation to give to everyone about everything. The Alpha, an AI that a man, a genius by the name of Dr. Leonard L. Church got his hands on. The man was brilliant and made the AI have the exact same memories and mindset as himself for his noble purpose. He wanted to create another force of good, people connected with AI who could protect the people and fight wars so no one would die. His goal came from the loss of his wife during the start of the Omnic crisis. He only had one AI, so he got creative and found a twisted way to make more. He had the AI, a mind of his, undergo repeated tests to produce fragments. Pieces that came from different aspects of himself, different emotions, different parts of the mind. The Alpha was constantly tortured for results, driven insane for pieces of AI. Each of the fragments were partnered with an agent, called freelancers, named after one of the 50 states of America. Including Puerto Rico. They were tested in the field and in training ops with simulation troopers who were lied to. Sent to fight an unknown war against soldiers wearing opposite colors of the spectrum, red and blue. After all knowing the truth, Tex and a few other freelancers worked together to cripple the director's project and free the AIs. All except for the Alpha, who was hidden in a little place we called Blood Gulch. And given a new identity, the name Leonard L. Church. So, any questions? Church asked after retelling the tale of his origin story to the members of Overwatch who stayed. Tracer raised her hand. Yeah, who's that? She pointed to the tall Australian woman who was currently chugging down a bottle of whiskey in one go. Caboose raised his hand. Oh, that's Junker Queen. She's Church's new girlfriend. She's not my girlfriend, Church protested. The Queen heard that and was a bit offended. What? I ain't to your liking. She joked. Actually, you're probably his exact type. Sarge answered. Church whipped back to the Red leader. Sarge. Oh, I am. Good to know. She smirked, eyeing Church up and down, making him a little uncomfortable. Winston crawled forward with a puzzled look on his face. Wait, you're the AI I was looking for. You're the Alpha. I am, Church admitted. But why keep it from us? This was one of our whole missions, to find you. After we heard what you were looking for, the Alpha, we decided not to say anything. After we found out Church was alive, we all collectively shut the hell up. Sarge admitted. Winston was still confused, but why? After the shit Church went through, let's just say we didn't want another director. Tucker explained. Tracer tried to argue their stance, but we're the good guys. We wouldn't do that. Well, after Blackwatch, we kinda, really didn't trust you guys at all. Simmons added, we thought it was Project Freelancer all over again. Was the pain that bad? Zarya raised an eyebrow in question. Church then walked around the room over to her as he explained, imagine the most traumatic, pain-inducing memory. That scars you for life, and imagine that exact moment on repeat. Just for someone to hope for a different outcome. I am, the textbook definition of insanity. So excuse me if I'm a little hesitant to trust someone who wants that power. Church walked out of the room, leaving everyone quiet. On top of Blue Base. The night sky sure was beautiful with a number of stars overhead, and that's exactly Church wasn't watching. Instead he stared at the ground, beer in hand as he took sips, trying to think about what his next move should or could be. He lied about the Alpha, what's more he lied to people who saved and helped him in his time of need. They also took in the Reds and Blues when no one else would, and no one in their right mind would do that. However, he knew Winston had good intentions, but he's been the byproduct of those with good intentions. For all he knew, what could happen to him would be just like Project Freelancer or worse because he didn't truly understand just how powerful Winston's intelligence was. All he knew was that since Epsilon restored his memories, he'd refuse to go back to that hell again. The sound of heavy steps came creeping towards him. Caboose, I'm not in the mood for this, okay? Sorry, wrong tank. Griff replied, tossing Church another beer can from one of his other 6 in tow. Church took his empty bottle and placed it down and cracked open his can. Drinking some of the cheap alcohol before thinking about something. Griff, why did you stay? I dunno dude. Never really thought about it. Griff drank from his can. Come on, give me a real answer. Don't know what to say. Yeah, I could have left. Could have stayed away from it all. Hell, I thought about leaving with everyone else. Well, why didn't you? I guess I don't hate you all as much as I thought. Come on, be real. No, honest. Look, being with you guys has gotten me shot, ran over, beaten the fuck up, shot, blown up, stitched up, shot. You said shot 3 times. Point is, I know damn well my life wouldn't have been the same if I didn't join you. I would probably be fatter, lazier and even more of a burden than ever. Point is, when I was with you all, it felt like I was close, like I found the reason why we're here. Really. I'm serious. Griff got up and made his way back inside. Church thought about the question, everything in life that led him to that moment. His creation, Blood Gulch, his sacrifice, the meta, his second sacrifice, meeting Overwatch. It all seemed like they were moments leading to one next big thing. Hey Griff. Church called out to him, do you regret joining up with us? Not one fucking day of my life. Griff answered, walking back inside. Church was about to take another drink but set his can down to think with a slightly intoxicated mind. The following morning, Church had the remaining members of Overwatch line up opposite to him, the Reds, Blue Team and Junker Queen. There they all looked at him, waiting on his move to make an announcement. Would he help or would he leave them and go off on his own? No one would blame him after what he experienced. Church stepped forward and started speaking. First, I want one thing to be clear. After we take care of Sigma, the creative crotch spawn, I will give you whatever schematics Omega and the other AI have for whatever you want. After that, nothing else. We don't talk, we don't meet up, I'm done with Overwatch. So, you'll help us? Mercy asked. Church sighed yes, but then I'm gone, and if y'all try to get me to change my mind or try to summon or try to keep me against my will, I will fuck y'all up. That seems fair. Tracer thought about it. Church then started up again, now we know they're laying dormant in my mind. Omega has a way to flush them out. Oh, you ready to explain? Oh, that feels good. Omega admitted as he cracked his neck and loosened up his joint. Transforming once again to the slightly bigger version of Church, now before we begin, let me just say you all know precisely shit when dealing with AI. Specifically smart AI being the alpha and the fragments. Winston accepted, mocking, understood. Yeah, we should have warned you. Omega is one of the biggest bag of assholes known to man. Tucker admitted. May raised a hand in question, there a nicer AI part of Church we can use? Was Church ever nice? Simmons shot back. Point made, point taken. Ahem, as I was saying. Omega continued his insulting rant, because you all know little to nothing about us, I'm going to put this in simple terms. To awaken each fragment that lies dormant, we would need an extreme surge of what each fragment represent. For me is pure unrivaled rage, aggression and anger. So what's the next AI gonna take? Cassidy asked, finishing off his cigar. Omega smirked with his sadistic grin, a trust exercise. On the very top of Red Basie's signal beacon. Whose idea was this again? Church shouted from the top hundreds of feet up. Tucker shouted back up, Omega said this was the best option. I'm gonna fucking die. Relax, Mercy is here to revive you. Tucker eased Church's mind, you can revive him, right? I should be able to. Mercy admitted the uncertain answer. Everyone watched their one and only hope, willing to harm himself for them. Oh, hurry up and jump. We'll catch ya. Junker Queen demanded. Sarge joined in, do a flip. Fuck you all. I'm coming down. Church shouted as made his way to the nearest foothold to climb down. Tucker shook his head as he looked down. Caboose, help him out. Okay. Aiming his massive shoulder artillery cannon, Caboose fired an anti-armor explosive round near Church. The resulting explosion knocked Church off the tower, sending him falling towards the ground. As he fell he kept cursing the team, "Fuck you Tucker. Fuck you Caboose." The three capable of flying took off to rush towards Church. Echo, Mercy and Farah moved as quickly as they could have. Farah and Mercy catching one of his arms while Echo caught his leg. Still a good distance between them and the ground. "Thank you," Church said. "Just do me a favor, as your medical specialist, please lose some weight." Mercy pleaded as Church's weight made them put in the extra effort. Echo started to lose her grip and noticed that Farah was losing hers as well. Mercy was the only one that would have a secure grip for the longest time. Church, please don't be mad." "Why?" Church asked as he soon saw himself slipping. "Oh fuck me. Just lay straight, you'll be safe, trust us." Mercy looked down to see if he'd be safe. Church couldn't exactly see behind. "Don't really have a choice here, do I? Trust me." "Alright." Letting go. Church released his grip and fell back. Back towards the ground. Everything felt like it was in slow motion as he neared the ground. With a loud thud and a jolt, Church was caught in the large arms of the armored gorilla Winston, who curled up into a ball to absorb most of the impact. "You okay?" Thank you." A variation of Church's voice said. This one sounded younger by at 15 years. And the body of Church actually shrunk as well. He was then size of a young teenager, approximately mid-teens. Tucker smiled as he got to introduce the new guy to the group. "Everyone, allow me to introduce you to Theta." HMPH, the little guy got a little bigger since the last time we seen him, huh? Sarge noticed. Theta got up and brushed himself off. Well, back then Church didn't really trust a lot of people. But nowadays his circle has gotten bigger. "Well then Theta, nice to meet you." Winston smiled as he held his hand out for Theta to shake. Theta shook his hand, while everyone gathered around to see the small teenage version of Church. Mercy then made it back down with the rest. "Who's next?" "I think Delta would be able to get everyone else out quicker, he's really smart," Theta suggested. Farah stretched out her joints. "Please tell me this won't be another trust exercise." "No. Don't worry, but he always did love games." Theta thought for a moment. Blue base, mess hall. Clocks ticking, wood scraping wood and the sweat glistening the foreheads of some of four people was not something on anyone's guest list. However, that was exactly what was happening at the moment, as Simmons, Sarge and Winston engaged in a 3vs1 chess match against Church. So far it was the fifth game and they were no closer to unlocking Delta, the logical one, than they were the first couple matches. Some were entertained as the group locked intellects and strategy against each other, while some were not, as the bored expressions on Junker Queen's, Reinhardt's, Lucio's, Cassidy's and several other members showed. Some were actually falling asleep while Mercy maintained focus on any change in brain activity, thanks to the neural scanner on his head. "Anything yet?" groaned as she got tired of the game on her phone. Mercy shook her head. "No, still nothing." Church took one Sarge's bishops with his horse. It wasn't anything special, but Sarge only lost one game to him so far. This made him stop his game immediately. "Wait, what in great gumbo gulp did you just do?" "I take your bishop," Church simply replied. "I see that. I meant what are you concocting in that noggin of yours?" "The Pelagati attack, the Archizer Meyer countergambit, Der Hammerschlag, the Zugzwang zigzag, the poached penguin, the drunken Tartakower, some type of messed of different variant of the dizzy whippet defense. Are you playing checkers with me, son?" Sarge asked, getting more and more angered at his lack of knowledge of Church's understanding. Griff groaned awake as he had to endure this with everyone else for a full hour. "Oh my god, when will this end? Why don't you just play that stupid, nerd game Simmons enjoys?" "Hey Simmons, what's that stupid fucking game? With all the stupid fucking dungeons? And the stupid fucking dragons? What do you call that game?" Actually, while that game does have a level of math and understanding, it also requires that of teamwork and imagination. Whereas these simple games of chess has allowed me to tap into the logical side to predict and anticipate my opponent's every move. But I do also believe that they would find that game just as entertaining as it may be helpful. Another variation of Church's voice answered. The body on this one was slightly scrawnier than Church's wider shoulder and small gut he shrunk down over the years. Mercy then noticed the change, and soon realized she forgot to plug in the helmet to her monitor. After doing so, she saw a clear difference in brain activity, specifically the side that dictates logic and reasoning. "I'm sorry, that was my fault." "No need to apologize, Dr. Ziegler. My name is Delta." Also, Delta had now began to move one piece on each of the boards with one simple move: checkmate. 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 Fuck. The three opponents shouted. Tucker got up along with everyone. "So what now, another set of games?" "Actually, for this case, yes. In order to summon Gamma, the deceitful one of us, I believe it would be necessary to play a series of games consisting entirely on keeping straight faces and having the ability to lie without any signs that would suggest otherwise." Delta listed. Tucker got excited as he pieced together what that could mean. "Wait. Are you saying what I think you're saying? If you are suggesting a game involving gambling and bluffing, yes." Delta answered. Tucker cheered. "Fuck yeah, Vegas time baby. I'm not going to Vegas." "Stop talking about Vegas," Simmons demanded as he left the room. Delta was on board but with a different destination in mind. "While Vegas is ideal, I believe Monte Carlo would give more of a payout. Oi, y'all going gambling? Count me in." Junker Queen left the room for a moment to grab something from her bag. Church then started to make her way to protest, until he realized something. "Wait. She has stuff here. When? I dunno." Everyone somehow came prepared though. Tucker noticed. Tracer then got up to explain. "Well, remember when you stayed back a bit to buy us time?" "Yeah, why did you guys grab your shit while I was fighting for my life?" Church asked. "You had it covered, besides it just took us quick minute, or 5. Tracer finished. Church groaned, but then went to the once empty room. Junker Queen occupied. "Hey listen, this isn't a visit. This is me trying to fix up my head through gambling. Wow, that doesn't sound right. But listen, this is serious. Are you sure you're even able to dress for this?" "Dunno, you tell me." Junker Queen asked, standing there in a white suit, looking like a mob boss. A well-dressed one at that. Church had no objections after seeing her like that. The only people that had to object were the people already tired of the canyon. "Hold on now, what are we supposed to do while y'all go gambling?" "I dunno, we're all technically laying low from talent, whatever you want I guess. Tucker is just coming along as my backup." Grabbing the keys to one of the jets before they all set off. As they left, Griff waited just long enough when they went out the room and out of earshot. Pulling up 2 cases of beer from behind his back, he looked at Group. "Y'all wanna get fucked up?" Sarge got up and slowly walked to Griff, looking him dead in the eye. "Griff, that is the smartest thing you've suggested yet." Sarge's frown turned to a smile as he went to the kitchen to pull out 3 large bottles of whiskey. Several hours later, Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo, the playground of the fabulous, the famous and the wealthy, home to yachts, casinos and rich snobs alike. There, in one of the major casinos, amongst the cards and tables, stood 2 very distinct people among the crowd. A tall blonde in a white and gold suit, and a gentleman by her side in black suit with light blue accents. They were gonna take this place's money like suckers. Junker Queen in disguise snatched 2 drinks for her and Church in disguise. Although she wasn't fond of the tiny glasses, as she said it, "I don't know what's the deal with these tiny drinks, how's anyone supposed to get a buzz off of these? Just think of them like tiny shot glasses, 2 for you." Church handed her the glass back as he grabbed 3 more from a passing waiter. "3 for me." Junker Queen doubled her drinks while Church drank one of his, then tossing them to the side as he made his way to the poker table. Determined to turn $1,000 into an even bigger mountain of cold hard cash. Before that he had to check on his +1, who was up on the roof acting as their guardian angel. Speaking into his earpiece, he had to check on him. "Yo Tucker, want anything? Just bring back enough money to get me a new motorcycle and we good." Tucker smirked, taking in the view like some type of comic book vigilante. That was until he saw a red dot on the distance. The red dot soon shining in the distance was almost too familiar to him. "Church, I'll be back." "What's up?" "It's her, LaCroix," Tucker said as he started making his way to the distance. It took him almost a full 2 minutes to make it her, the rooftops being the most perfect way to avoid traffic and stopping. However, it was almost a mile and a half away from his previous spot, so when he made it to her sniper's nest he was already out of breath. She turned around with a smile. It felt like he was looking at her for the first time, especially from the she turned with one hand on her hip. She was like a purple and blue angel. He was memorizing everything about her, not just her body. Her eyes that felt seemed like they had a spark in them. Man, did he feel like a fool for falling for a brainwashed killer, but for once he wasn't thinking with his junk. Hey, Tucker finally managed to get out. Bonjour, she replied, not taking aim but still had her hands on her gun. Tucker had managed to get his breathing back to normal. So, do you still remember me? We. But you don't feel nothing for me, huh? Oh, I'm sorry, does that make you sad? Kinda. I mean, what me and you went kinda felt magical. And I think it was special for you. Don't get too full of yourself. Widowmaker walked over to pat him on his face. Tucker couldn't help but brag, oh come on, you gotta admit you fell for this. I have rocked your fucking world. HMPH, you're going to give me a headache. Please, I know deep down, underneath all those chemicals that are meant to block out emotion and stall your heart. You feel something. Really something. You're going to hurt yourself getting your hopes up like that. Meh, it'd be worth it. Now are you gonna leave me like last time? With a cloud of purple dust. No. You deserve a proper goodbye. Widowmaker hesitated. Tucker caught that in a heartbeat. The cold-blooded assassin hesitated. So Tucker held out his hand in an awkward fashion, close to his with his elbow bending the arm forward, like he was a machine. She took a moment taking his hand and shaking it slowly. But not before pulling him in for a slow kiss. Time, right or wrong, good or bad, none of that mattered in that moment, because for that one moment in time they were the only people in the room. The only people that mattered as the lights faded out, and it was just that moment playing on repeat for Tucker. When they finally parted, she simply turned and walked to the edge, aiming her grappling gauntlet and zipping away. Tucker closed his eyes and smiled as he remembered that her lips still felt warm from the kiss. Now alone he still tried to be calm about the scenario. Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. He repeated to himself, knowing no one was around to hear him. His moment was cut short when someone had called the comlink, Yo Tucker. Ya there. Yeah Church, I'm fine, so, what's up? Are you at the ship? I can be there shortly, why? Well, Church tried to admit while gunfire came after him through the comms. Moments earlier, Church was bringing in the chips in the game, that he was able to make towers out of all of them. Thanks to his poker face being so good, no hints, tells, not even a twitch, just straight-faced. All while Junker Queen was standing behind him, like a hype man, taking drink after drink. Even the dealer bot had no way to detect if he was bluffing. His card counting, his bluffs were undetectable from any professional, omnic or scanner in the room. By the end of his games, he was making it to the front door with 2 cases full of bills. With a big grin he and Junker Queen as they were about to stroll out. So did ya get that other piece in ya head, out? She asked. Church just laughed, oh he came out after the first draw of the cards. This was just me having fun. They then were stopped by a man in black coat while he was accompanied by 2 other guys dressed just as nicely. Oh we don't need any help with the bags, but, if you can, could you hold the door open for us? That'd be awfully nice. Junker Queen leaned down to the man. He then proceeded to snatch her blonde hair off her head, revealing the true blue and black hair that was hidden underneath. Church gasped sarcastically, you're not a real blonde. I thought you knew. Junker Queen pretended to apologize. The man proceeded to display 2 holographic wanted posters of the 2 in front of him, with Junker Queen's just a little behind Church. Okay, so seeing as I have my hands full at the moment, I will not be fighting you. Church admitted, his eyes going black for a moment, she will. Junker Queen launched the man in front with an uppercut, then proceeded to smash the skulls of the 2 behind him together. The 2 took a moment to smile, then heard the sound of several guns clicking. When they turned around they saw the guns aimed at them from nearly everyone in the casino. When they burst out the door they were followed by bullets just missing them by inches. The Queen shot back inside with her shotgun to keep them back. Get us some wheels, will ya? Church looked for anything that could get them out fast. It was a good thing they were in Monte Carlo, because they just happened to find just the car. A Formula One car with the keys still in the ignition. He jumped in, and as he was about to drive, someone got in behind him, making him uncomfortably close to the wheel. Junker Queen pushed herself inside, forcing him on her lap. "Hey, this is a one-seater," Church yelled. Junker Queen yelled back as he fired another couple shots, "Then get out and push, or just drive." Now. After another couple of minutes, Tucker made it, finished running back to the ship in another couple of minutes. He earned a rest as he sat down on the floor, catching his breathing. Once he got air in his lungs, he called them up one more time. "Hey Church, where are you guys?" Tucker asked. Church spoke through the wind going past them, coming in hot. "What do you mean?" Tucker started to question, then heard the sound of the same engine from the phone coming from the nearby street. The car was indeed coming in hot, so Church did what he could and turned the wheel to try and slow the car down. Unfortunately, the car wasn't made for such sharp turns and began to flip. The car crashed over the jet and onto a building while Junker Queen and Church tumbled together on the floor. When they finally stopped rolling, Church groaned on the floor, with Junker Queen on top of him. She leaned in close, smirking at him. "Whatcha thinking about? I think you should get off me." Church blushed as he tried to get up. Junker Queen pushed his chest back down and leaned into his ear. "Hold on, I ain't finished yet." "Finished what?" "Getting my knife out of your ass," Junker Queen said as she yanked the blade from Church's ass. Church groaned in pain as Delta already got to work patching up that wound. Once fully healed, Church turned to Tucker and started making it up the stair to get into the jet. On the way home, finally, they got a call about an hour into the flight, from an old friend. Agent Carolina was calling them with urgent news. This could not be good. "Church, we got some bad news." Carolina called him up. Church hesitated no time telling her his good news. "Yeah, well, bad news ain't shit on us. Listen, all the AI fragments, even the alpha wasn't dead. Epsilon just kinda housed the all together. And I'm gaining the powers of all them. All I'm missing are Eta and Iota. Fear and happiness." "Hold on, you have all the AI." Carolina paused. "Yeah, except Sigma, he must be in the original meta suit Maine used to wear. We just need Hargrove and we can finally be rid of that son of a bitch." Then this bad news just became worse. "What do you mean?" Church asked. Carolina took a moment to respond, "Because someone just broke Hargrove out." "What?" "Someone with a giant gauntlet broke through 10 walls made of steel and concrete and took him. Do you hear me? Hargrove is free." Church didn't move, didn't breathe. He stood as still as a lake for what felt like an eternity. Carolina had to call him several times just to get his attention. "Church. Church. Yeah, I'm here. Well, I got the fear part covered now," Church admitted as one of his eyes changed into a more yellow iris. Chapter 24. *T going south. Outpost. Valhalla. Fuck, Church yelled, kicking a random piece of debris across the room. Winston groaned as he heard the news. "This is bad." "Damn straight," Tucker agreed, with his arms folded. Church kept knocking stuff over as he kept complaining, "Son of a bitch. Is it really that bad?" Tracer asked the two newest people to join up, Carolina and Washington. After being informed that the current present members of Overwatch were aware of Church, the Alpha and the Fragments, conversations were difficult to start. Carolina was just glad the main task at hand was being focused on, when the jailbreak occurred. Someone had hacked the alarms, keeping us in the dark for 3 hours. Cocksuckers. Church came back to toss a chair at the wall. Washington ignored Church's screams, as they seemed justifiable. By the time we arrived on the scene, we spent the last 35 hours searching for other escaped convicts. When we did finish, all reports from the prisoners, surviving guards and other witnesses reported a Talon dropship with a few of the key members jumping out. As of right this moment, they have a window of almost 48 hours of time ahead of us. Carolina added. Assholes. Church finished shouting, giving him time to catch his breath as he trashed the small part of the room he wandered in, so they probably already have him. Sigma, the creative AI, was left with the original suit that Agent Maine wore. And our records show that Malcolm Hargrove only had the schematics to replicate the suit. The exact location is only known to Hargrove because his team packaged the original. So he might not even know, which means he'd have to go looking themselves. Carolina tried to inspire hope. Carolina, they have one of the best hackers in the world, she'll no doubt already have the files. Then it's a good thing we had a shadow in the inside. Washington reminded Carolina. Carolina nodded and signaled that he could uncloak and reveal himself. The shadow, being an old enemy turned ally, Locus appeared right next to them. Tucker went for his sword and ignited it ready to strike. What the hell? After all the shit he's done. After the events on the island of Chorus, we tracked him down. Found him doing some vigilante work. We offered him amnesty and a pardon if he worked for us and did some dirty work for good. Carolina explained. Locus remained silent with the blade to his throat as he looked Tucker directly in the face. When he spoke he had his arms up to show he means no harm. They had me keep tabs on you all, making sure you stayed out of trouble. Why should we believe you? Tucker asked. 151 rum, pineapple juice and Malibu. Tucker's eyes grew wide, then he scoffed and turned off his sword. My favorite drink I had after we thought Church died in the crash. So you really have been our guardian asshole. At first it was watch over you all, make sure none of you died. Then Overwatch recruited you all and my objective changed from watching over you, to spying on Talon. Locus listed, over the time I noticed increased activity along some of the places you once visited. Then we started seeing a pattern when they started researching the AI. They already have the suit. Fuck. Church repeated. Tucker calmed his friend down for just a moment. Why would they even grab him, if they had the suit? Could just be to learn from his mistakes so that he can finally be rid of you. Winston thought. Church stopped cussing to take a moment to join the conversation. No, they're smarter than we give them credit for. Smarter than us. That's not saying much. Tucker quipped. No, I'm serious. We'd just do it out of spite, or for revenge. Doomfist is a strategist, but he doesn't know all the information, he's trying to know everything. How so? Carolina quizzed as she leaned forward. Church took a moment to think when the thought occurred to him, were any of my files looked at? My real ones. Washington used his device to confirm Church's suspicions. He showed up a sugar skull symbol. She got into them. Her calling card was the first thing we found. What now? It's not like we can call them up and tell them not to open it. Tucker remarked. Church took that information then called in for some expert help. Sarge. I need you to scramble a call for me. I can bounce the signal around. Why? Sarge asked. Halfway across the globe, airship graveyard. Talon had occupied the area. There wasn't a full army, just a small strike team with some of the key figures in charge. The icy air bit some of their skin as they stood waiting for the team to get into positions. Standing the tallest and the proudest was none other than Doomfist as he oversaw everything. As he did, one of his Talon soldiers approached him, more running to him with a phone in hand. He turned to the side raising his eyebrow up to look at his subordinate. What is it now? Sir, Maximilian is on the line. The soldier explained. Doomfist took the phone and signaled for him to leave for this conversation. He put the phone to his ear and began speaking. Now is not a good time, Max. Oh, I think you can make time for this, Thanos. The voice on the other end replied. Akand laughed as he heard the cocky voice. Ah, if it isn't the great Alpha. Yeah, I go by Church, but trust me when I say you're walking into a shit show. Oh, and don't even waste Sombra's time trying trace this. Why would I believe that? Because I know something that Hargrove doesn't. Church admitted. Doomfist inhaled as he looked at the man next to him. The man being Malcolm Hargrove, out of his prison orange and into a gray, black and red suit. Standing right between the robotic meta-clone and Felix copycat, Doomfist smiled as kept talking. I have no idea who that is. Don't be dumb. Look, the meta suit is not what you think. It's not empty. If you think the Anubis AI was bad, this is the apocalypse moment. Do not open the suit. I can handle it. If you called just to warn me, then you should not have let the suit survive. Doomfist hung up. Back at Valhalla Outpost, Church had hung up the phone after having no success in convincing Doomfist about the dangers he could and would unleash into the world today. He looked defeated as everyone stood around the base looking at him while trying to think what's the next step. Best case scenario is Doomfist gets a super suit. Worst case scenario, Sigma the AI gets free. Now they all felt as though they were stuck between a rock and a hard place. Hopeless, against impossible odds, he slumped with his back against the wall while he was trying to make sense of the situation. All of him was trying to make sense. Omega was seething with rage, Theta was locked in his own bubble, Gamma kept lying, trying to ensure everyone that everything would be okay, while Eta kept crying as he missed his other half. The only one who was doing any work of the sort was Delta, running all the numbers he could have, trying to come up with the most likely course of action. The smartest and not so smartest minds in the hall, just outside, were trying to think about what to do next. No one coming up with any real solution that would work next or be a permanent fix. We might as well just leave at this point, Cole Cassidy suggested as he flicked his cigar. Winston shook his head. You can't be serious, Cassidy. With everything on the line. If this goes south, the UN is gonna try to pin this as a failure on your part. Washington informed them. Carolina joined in the discussion. We are literally on our own. You're with us now? Tucker asked. We should have been with you all the whole time. We're sorry. We're here now, if you'll have us. Of course. Always. Tucker nodded to the two. Not that it changes anything, we got no army-like talent. Yes we do. Church realized something that made the ice and the people in the room pay attention. He stepped out into the hall where everyone was standing. Hargrove is free and wants some payback for his services. Probably that Felix bot somebody made. So they're gonna come for us, maybe after they come after the other reason they failed. So we're gonna beat them to the punch and we're gonna set up defenses so we can gang up on them and wreck their shit. So if y'all are feeling like a little payback and ass kicking, follow us. Wait, where are we going? Winston asked as everyone began following them to the large dropship. Church turned and smiled. We're going to Chorus. Back at the Arctic shipyard. After breaking through over 10 automatically locked and sealed doors, 10 Talon troops alongside Doomfist and Hargrove make it to their destination. The main office, more like trophy room with all the once memorable items that has been in the Reds and Blues past. And there at the far end of the room lied the real suit, behind the one that was once in the center of the room. Hargrove couldn't help but smile as he retold the story. I had my team reverse engineer the original. Do you think I'd let those mercenaries have the original? It's promising, I'll give you that. Doomfist nodded. I entrust that my position with Talon is secured. We share some of the same goals, different ideals, but in the end we both land on the same path. Hargrove gave a bow as he looked up. Then I trust you'll be rid of my problems while taking care of yours. Trust me, the Reds, Blues, freelancers and Overwatch will fall. Maybe you can have the Alpha as another trophy. As the word was said, Alpha, the finger on the original suit twitched, followed by slight orange, fiery glow for just a moment. Making Felix bot and Robo Meta twitch unknowingly. To be continued. Also I lied, one more quick update. Locus. Attack. Main weapon. Heavy LMG, railgun and sword. Ability 1. Cloaked in shadows, he constantly uses his tech to remain hidden among the battlefield. Every shot fired, or ability used makes him visible as well as damage taken. Cooldown after not cloaked, 5 seconds. Ability 2. His railgun goes through enemies but not shields, matrix or blocks. Cooldown, 10 seconds. Ability 3. His sword allows him to be like a cold-blooded killer, straight out of a horror film. With a slash he does tremendous damage, twice as much if he's stabbing from behind. Cooldown, 10 seconds. Ultimate, silent but deadly. His cloak comes with no cost, every attack keeps him cloaked but he becomes revealed with just a faint shimmer of where he is. Okay, now that should cover everyone, for now. First, I want to say I might lose some of y'all when I switch this to rated M. But I think we'll be fine, you should be able to find us. I also wished to say that we should be able to complete this story before the 16th of September. As that is when I go back to school. Now I wanted to say thank you for everything and wish everybody a good day, and I'll see y'all in the next one. As always, Church is alive, signing off for now. This is the end of part 11 of this What If. I hope you guys like it. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and subscribe to my channel.